Welcome to my channel. Old Coins News Today videos is one you won't miss. We're diving into the world of coins, so let's get it started. The United States of America quarter dollar, 1980 Philadelphia Mint issue, bearing the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and E Pluribus Unum, is a representative piece of American coinage from the late 20th century that bridges a nation's numismatic traditions with the everyday commerce of modern life. This quarter belongs to the long-running Washington Quarter series, which began in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, whose left-facing portrait of Washington has graced the obverse of the coin for decades and became one of the most familiar images in United States coinage. The 1980 issue continues this tradition, showing Washington's bust prominently at the center, his hair tied back with a ribbon in a simple colonial style. Above his head runs the bold inscription Liberty, serving both as a reference to the values upon which the nation was founded and as a hallmark inscription on nearly all American coinage. To the left, aligned with Washington's profile, appears the national motto, In God We Trust, a phrase that was first added to U.S. coins in the 19th century and by 1956 was adopted as the official motto of the United States. Beneath Washington's image, curving along the lower rim, is a denomination marker quarter dollar, clearly declaring the coin's value. On this 1980 example, a small but important detail is the mint mark. Unlike quarters produced at the Denver Mint, marked with a D, or the San Francisco Mint, marked S, this coin bears a P mint mark to the right of Washington's ponytail, identifying it as a product of the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse side of the 1980 quarter carries a design that had been standard since 1932 and remained unchanged until 1998, before the launch of the state quarters program in 1999. This reverse depicts a majestic heraldic eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing both strength and the nation's readiness to defend itself. The eagle's wings are fully spread in a proud and powerful stance, while beneath the arrows rests an olive branch, representing peace. This duality of imagery, war readiness tempered by peace, was central to American symbolism during the 20th century, reflecting the ideals of security, balance, and diplomacy. Encircling the eagle at the top is the inscription United States of America, underscoring national identity, while immediately below it in smaller letters appears a classical motto, E Pluribus Unum, a Latin phrase meaning out of many, one. This motto emphasizes the unity of the United States forged from diverse colonies and peoples. At the bottom of the reverse, the inscription quarter dollar is repeated to denote value. The careful arrangement of these inscriptions with the eagle at center gives the coin a sense of symmetry, order, and dignity. The 1980 Philadelphia quarter holds particular historical significance in the realm of American coinage because it was one of the first years in which the Philadelphia Mint began regularly using the P mint mark on circulating quarters. Prior to 1980, coin from the Philadelphia Mint typically carried no mint mark, making the introduction of the P a notable development in the history of U.S. numismatics. This change also helped collectors and the general public more easily distinguish between quarters struck at different mints. From a production standpoint, the Philadelphia Mint struck 635,832,000 quarters in 1980, a massive mintage that ensured their wide availability and circulation across the country. The high mintage, combined with their relatively recent date compared to older silver quarters, means that 1980p quarters are still readily found in pocket change today, though typically in worn condition. Compositionally, the 1980 quarter belongs to the clad era of U.S. coinage, which began in 1965 following the removal of silver from circulating quarters. Instead of being struck from 90% silver and 10% copper, as earlier Washington quarters had been, the 1980 issue was made from a copper-nickel clad composition. This consists of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper, giving the coin a silvery appearance while remaining economical to produce. The clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and features a reeded edge, which historically helped prevent clipping or filing of coin edges. While no longer possessing intrinsic silver value, these quarters were durable and practical for everyday commerce in an era when inflation and increased reliance on coin-operated machines made dependable coinage essential. From a numismatic and collector's standpoint, the 1980p quarter is generally considered common due to its very high mintage, and circulated examples rarely carry any premium above face value. However, uncirculated or high-grade mint state specimens can be attractive to collectors, particularly because they represent the first year of the Philadelphia P mint mark. Coins graded in mint state 65, MS65, or higher by professional grading services may sell for several dollars, with exceptional examples in MS67 or higher commanding significantly higher premiums due to their relative rarity. Proof versions of 1980 quarters, struck at the San Francisco Mint, are also of interest to collectors, though they carry an S mint mark and are distinct from the circulation strike being discussed here. Culturally, the 1980 quarter exists at a transitional moment in U.S. numismatic history, standing as one of the final decades of the traditional eagle reverse design before the coinage landscape was reshaped by the state quarter program. For many Americans, these 1980s quarters carry a sense of nostalgia tied to a time of economic challenges, cultural shifts, and the everyday jingling of change in pockets and vending machines. They are also part of the broader narrative of the Washington Quarter as a design that, by the late 20th century, had become one of the most enduring and recognizable icons of U.S. coinage. Thus, the 1980p Washington Quarter embodies a blend of tradition, change, and practicality. It carries forward a revered image of Washington, paired with a timeless symbolism of the eagle and national mottos, while also introducing the new mint mark system that brought the Philadelphia Mint's role in circulating coinage more clearly into view. Although its intrinsic and monetary value remains modest for most examples, it holds historical and sentimental significance, especially for those who appreciate its place in the continuum of American coinage. Each 1980 quarter, whether found in circulation or preserved in pristine condition, represents not only 25 cents of spending power, but also a tangible piece of America's heritage, industry, and identity during a pivotal era of modern history. The United States of America quarter dollar, Connecticut State Quarter, 1999, Charter Oak design is one of the most historically significant pieces in the U.S. 50-state quarters program, which was launched in 1999 to honor each of the 50 states with a unique reverse design on the traditional Washington Quarter. The Connecticut Quarter was the fifth issue in this immensely popular commemorative series and was released into circulation on October 12, 1999, following the Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Georgia quarters of the same year. On its obverse, as with all state quarters from this series, the coin retains the classical portrait of George Washington, the first president of the United States, which has been featured on the quarter dollar since 1932. This portrait was originally created by sculptor John Flanagan and depicts Washington in a left-facing profile. Around his image appear the inscriptions United States of America above, Liberty on the left, In God We Trust on the right, and quarter dollar at the bottom. In addition, depending on where the coin was struck, the mint mark appears to the right of Washington's ponytail. For the coin described, the letter D indicates it was minted at the Denver Mint in Colorado in 1999. The reverse design of the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter is what makes this coin so distinctive and culturally meaningful. It features the image of the legendary Charter Oak, one of the most famous trees in American history, and an enduring symbol of Connecticut's colonial heritage and fight for self-governance. The oak tree is depicted in full grandeur, with a massive trunk, wide-spreading branches, and intricate detailing that captures its imposing natural presence. The Charter Oak was not just any tree. It became iconic because of an event in 1687, when the colony of Connecticut was under threat from Sir Edmund Andros, who had been sent by King James II of England to revoke colonial charters and consolidate them under royal authority. According to popular legend, Connecticut's Charter of 1662, which granted the colony a significant degree of self-rule, was hidden inside the hollow of this giant oak tree to keep it safe from seizure. By protecting the charter, the people of Connecticut safeguarded their rights, privileges, and freedoms, making the oak a powerful symbol of independence and resistance to tyranny. The coin's reverse therefore captures not just the tree but also the spirit of defiance and liberty that it represents. Surrounding the oak design are inscriptions, Connecticut at the top, 1788 just beneath it to signify the year Connecticut became the fifth state to ratify the U.S. Constitution, the Charter Oak directly under the branches, and the minting year 1999 along with the national motto E Pluribus Unum, out of many, one. at the bottom. From a numismatic perspective, the Connecticut State Quarter is notable for its relatively high mintage, reflecting the enthusiasm for the state quarters program, which drew millions of Americans into coin collecting for the first time. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these quarters, and alongside the Philadelphia Mint, the total number struck exceeded 1 billion coins. This large-scale production means that most examples found today in circulation are common and generally hold only face value, though uncirculated or proof examples can command modest premiums among collectors. Proof versions of the Connecticut Quarter were also struck at the San Francisco Mint in both standard-clad and 90% silver composition for collectors. Despite its widespread availability, the Connecticut Quarter holds enduring popularity because of its striking design and historical associations. The intricate engraving of the charter oak is often praised as one of the most detailed and beautiful among all the state quarters, with its dense network of branches symbolizing strength, endurance, and the deep-rooted history of the state. Culturally and historically, the Connecticut Quarter continues to serve as a tangible reminder of how the natural world and political ideals intertwine in American heritage. The charter oak itself stood in Hartford, Connecticut, until a storm in 1856 toppled it, but its memory has been preserved not only in literature, paintings, and monuments, but now also in coinage that circulates across the entire nation. In this way, every Connecticut Quarter connects millions of Americans with a story of colonial defiance and the struggle for self-determination that eventually culminated in the independence of the United States. The pairing of the familiar Washington obverse with a distinctly local and historically resonant charter oak reverse epitomizes a vision of the state quarters program, celebrating the unity of the United States while acknowledging the unique identities and contributions of each state. Whether encountered in everyday change, preserved in collection, or studied in historical context, the 1999 Connecticut Quarter stands as a lasting symbol of American resilience, civic pride, and the enduring legacy of liberty rooted in the early struggles of the colonies.